Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/JustNoMil. In today's episode, FMIL wore a black funeral dress to the wedding. Update: FMIL went to the police to get rid of me. MIL has no filter when she gets angry. She says hurtful things. It disturbs me a lot. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. FMIL wore a black funeral dress to the wedding. Backstory: XSO has 8 younger siblings and an older brother, 10 kids total. FFIL is never home and travels frequently for work and is maybe home 24-36 HRS/week. The boys are heavily favored by FMIL compared to the girls. They all were mostly nice people except FMIL. They proclaim to be deeply religious. So and I, 30-ish just started dating 5 years ago. It began with FMIL telling so that her posts on social media were fake and not real. So was pretending to be someone else on social media. Shortly after this, all of the siblings added me on social media. FMIL then swiftly took away all electronic devices from the siblings and banned them from any social media, claiming it's creepy to follow people on social media you don't know. So and I traveled to Oregon a few weeks later for the weekend. FMIL saw photos on social media and began to tell SO's family that we had eloped and we were on our honeymoon. FMIL then FaceTimed us and started demanding to see the wedding ring. None of which was true. We finally made the 13-hour trip to visit FMIL plus family for the first time 7 weeks later. I attempted to spend time with everyone. I brought FMIL flowers as a nice gesture on the first time meeting her. Throughout the following few days, I attempted to get to know FMIL. All I received was one-word answers, and FMIL said about 30 to 40 words to me the entire visit. I attempted to help out in the kitchen but was told to leave. She would excuse herself from any room that I was in. To the extent that she would eat alone in the kitchen instead of at the dining room table with the family. FMIL banned So and I from leaving the house, stating leaving the house is taking away from spending time with family. FFIL at one point pulled So to the kitchen to have a talk with her. FFIL told So that she looked like a ______ sitting next to me on the couch in the living room. Use your imagination. FFIL also informed So that she is his, FFIL, property until married. FMIL/FIL then proceeded to lecture So about her behavior. We left the following day. We returned after Christmas to visit for a few days. We were stuck inside the house the entire time as it was -58F. Yeah, that's correct. FMIL banned all electronic devices, phones, tablets, Nintendo, Xbox, etc., while we were there, as she wanted everyone to socialize. FMIL again would excuse herself from any room I was in. Less than 30 to 40 words said over the couple of days. At one point during this trip, I was in the living room with the siblings. So was in the basement shower. FMIL comes running downstairs to the bathroom, pounding on the door, thinking So and I were in the shower together. There were 2 other visits between the following 10 months. FMIL refused to talk to me or be in the same room as me. Would always eat any meals alone in the kitchen. Multiple lectures by FMIL/FIL to So about her behavior. So and I got engaged and started planning the wedding. FMIL wanted no involvement in the wedding. They gave a small amount of cash, but that was about it. Fast forward to the wedding. FMIL plus family showed up 2 hours before the Friday rehearsal dinner. Afterwards, FMIL was fishing for information, trying to find any reason to stop the wedding. Whether that was trying to find proof we lived together before marriage, or proof we were sleeping together before marriage, etc. Around this time she stated to SO, "Your marriage won't last 2 years." The day of the wedding, FMIL refused to be in any wedding photos unless FFIL forced her to. FMIL refused to get her makeup done by the makeup artists, or her hair done by the hairdresser. FMIL wore a black funeral dress to the wedding. Between the ceremony and reception, FMIL told a few guests, "If I could have stopped this wedding, I would have." FMIL refused to say anything at the reception during open mic. They left less than 6 hours after the wedding was over. They couldn't be bothered to stay in town for longer than 40 hours. FMIL complained the entire 13-hour drive home as per the siblings, complaining about how ugly she looked in photos and how her friend looked so much better. Everything she hated about the wedding and what she would have changed. It only gets worse from here. I wonder if your ex was the girl expected to stay home permanently, raise the younger kids, and care for the parents as they aged. So they disrespect, disregard, and manipulate all that kid's wants and needs. Kind of a grow-your-own-slave situation, which fundy Christians seem to love doing. I'm starting to believe this fully. Ex in the past had to phone the younger siblings to parent them about their behavior as FMIL wouldn't/couldn't. At age 10, X was expected to make meals and watch all the younger siblings while FMIL was out doing errands, etc. X was basically playing second mom her entire childhood. She looked ugly in the pictures because she behaved ugly. What a childish, pathetic she is. I'm sorry to hear you've gone through this all, and that she led to your divorce. On the plus side, at least you're done with her now. XXX. There's more, and it gets worse. This is just scraping the surface. This is eerily similar to my experience with my first serious relationship. I was years so in the scenario, oldest daughter in big, crazy religious family, and well remembered getting screamed at for sitting too close to him on the couch and using inappropriate affectionate language in front of your siblings, aka I love you. Eventually, my BF got fed up with the treatment and broke up with me. It was awful for me, but it gave me the kick in the pants I needed to see that marriage wouldn't be an escape for me and I'd have to get out of the house on my own steam. I did. Not sure where I am going with this, but I deeply sympathize and relate. Many years later, I'm good friends again with that old BF and totally get why he left. I don't blame him, he was in an impossible situation. I can tell you honestly that if your so couldn't detangle herself emotionally from that family, you are better off without her. I wish you peace. Complaining about how ugly she looked in photos. Ugly on the outside, even uglier on the inside. MIL is quite the piece of work. As soon as she banned you from leaving the house, you should have left and never returned. And FIL sounds like a creeper. Calling his daughter his property till she's married. Please tell me you've gone full NC with these whole S. Full NC as of 2 years ago, thankfully. But with the divorce and child custody battle ongoing, FMIL is still getting her hands dirty. Wow. You guys never had a chance. They would have had a chance if the wife had put her foot down. She showed what a truly awful person she was to everyone in attendance at the wedding. They'll all be talking about her for years. You and so love being tortured, huh? I couldn't have survived the first trip alone, additional ones. I will say, I would have loved to see FMIL running downstairs to catch you too. Ha ha. Yeah. FMIL running to the basement was actually funny. But it shows what FMIL was obsessed with. FMIL also banned the siblings from connecting their gaming devices Wii/3DS etc. to the internet as she doesn't want the government spying on her children. I guarantee she looked ridiculous in that dress. Guarantee most people were appalled by the dress and her comments. Give her enough rope and she'll show her ass. I have a saying that fits here. Well, aren't you just a little ray of sunshine? Update: FMIL went to the police to get rid of me. Trigger warning: FMIL made false accusations of assault. Backstory: XSO has 8 younger siblings and an older brother, 10 kids total. FFIL is never home and travels frequently for work and is maybe home 24/36 HRS/week. The boys are heavily favored by FMIL compared to the girls. They all were mostly nice people except FMIL. They proclaim to be deeply religious. XSO and I got pregnant a few months after the wedding. FMIL was livid upon hearing the news. This was certainly ruining FMIL's pre-wedding statements of "your marriage won't last 2 years." We drove the 13 hours to visit them for Easter. Again, FMIL wouldn't say much to me and would excuse herself from the room if I was there. FMIL then started telling the family that I forced So to get pregnant against her will. One evening, while most of the family was at the dining room table, FMIL opened up the following for discussion: "When did So and me have *X for the first time?" So was embarrassed and quickly turned the conversation into something else. A baby shower was planned, but FMIL refused to come and attend. It took FFIL 3 months to show up to meet his grandchild for the first time. This was only because he was in the area for work. FMIL refused to come and meet her grandchild. FMIL went to the police. It took 8 months until FMIL finally met her grandchild. Only because we went to them. This visit was uneventful. Or so I thought. Upon arriving home, FFIL/FMIL suddenly wanted to FaceTime us, saying it was urgent. FMIL/FFIL started making accusations towards me, stating, "We know what you did. We want an apology." They would not disclose anything and just wanted an apology. I wasn't going to apologize for something that I had no idea about. FMIL took SAL1 to the police station to back up her newfound allegations of assault. This incident apparently happened in a room with 4 other people, none of which made statements towards the police. The only witnesses to this were FMIL, not home, and SAL1, not in the room. This happened 1.5 years into marriage. As per my former lawyer, FMIL began harassing the police by contacting them daily, asking, "Why haven't you done anything about this yet?" This went on for 3 weeks. Eventually they pressed charges, I was arrested and released on bail. Because of this, I was suspended from work and essentially lost my job due to the charges. While being arrested, FMIL conveniently called So, telling her exactly how this was going down and what was happening. After this point, FMIL/FFIL started harassing So, stating, "You need to file for divorce, you need to file for divorce." This went on for weeks. Autumn hit, and FMIL began pressuring So again that she needed to file for divorce and move out on her own. So began preparing to move out, but got pregnant with an IUD in. What are the odds? So stayed until the springtime and found her own place to live. This lasted all of 2 months, as So realized it's really hard being 8 months pregnant, with a toddler and living on your own. FMIL again was making preparations to move in with So for a few months before DD2 was born. FMIL wanted to push me out of the picture and not allow me to see my child. Part of the bail conditions were no contact with FMIL. FMIL thankfully didn't come out this way. After 18 months, all charges were withdrawn and I am free. FMIL is absolutely livid that I walked free and has been making multiple attempts to get the case reopened. FMIL and So conspired to then begin pursuing full child custody. I was suddenly not allowed to be alone with either DD after this point, as I was a threat to their safety as per FMIL. Thus begun the child custody battle for the last 10 months. I am still not allowed to be alone with either DD, as So will not allow me. So is trying to enforce supervision. So has not provided any legitimate evidence supporting this. Lawyer said I have to wait until the judge orders So to stop. Because of COVID, family courts are so backed up it has taken months to get to this point. I am fighting for both DD at this point through the family court system. So is deep in the fog and believes FMIL 100%. FMIL has ended a marriage, just as she said would happen. Your marriage won't last 2 years. I could write a whole post about So in this time period, as so much has also happened with So. Hold up. I need help understanding something. Is there something mentally wrong with your XSO? Why wouldn't she just cut contact with her crazy parents or tell the police they were making false accusations? Very confused. XSO is too deep in the FOG. When this has been your entire life, this is normal behavior to you. You don't know any different. Along with the continual threats by FFIL/FMIL to disown her if she doesn't do what they say/suggest. XSO has said in the past, my parents are just looking out for me and have my best interests in mind. The fog is thick, man. One of my siblings tells the story of our JNP ruining their marriage like it's a bedtime story, totally glossing over the crazy actions. OP, please pursue full custody and get your girls away from these abusive lunatics. Surprisingly enough, last fall FMIL did finally make a visit and was trying to push XSO to get back together with me. Listen to your lawyer, though it sounds like so and FMIL are, hopefully, shooting themselves in the foot by making false accusations and preventing you from seeing your kids. I hope the courts see it that way as well, though only your lawyer would know for sure. Good luck, and I'm sorry this is happening to you. Wasn't an issue for me to be alone with DDs until I walked free. I believe FMIL and so legitimately thought I was going to jail, which would have removed me from the picture. So would have full custody and would have been able to move back with FMIL. Heck. I hope you get full/majority custody. Fight expensive and fight hard. With 10 kids, their finances must be stretched thin. Losing her kids might help clear the fog. What astonishingly awful people. I'd go for full custody when you can. Your so is terribly toxic, to say nothing of her mother. I am so sorry all this sh*t has happened, OP. XSO was an incredible person. Things were great with XSO until FMIL stepped in and made the false allegations. That was the turning point. I feel like I've read this before. I had to delete most of this in the past due to the ongoing legal aspects. I believe it was locked in the past by mods as it was a mix of NOMIL plus JNSO. Trying to make this only about FMIL. XSO should eventually get her own post in JNSO. Like mother, like daughter? Now that the legal aspect is over, I can share about the lovely human being my FMIL is. Yep, this has all been thrashed out on Reddit a year ago in lurid detail, but now all the posts have been deleted. I wonder if it has anything to do with all the comments on the threads that called out the inconsistencies, and trickle-truthing that kept exposing all the implausibility of the creative writing. This entire thing is absolutely freaking nuts. I really hope that you get your kids back and that you can wash your hands of whole thing. I'm so sorry you're through this. MIL has no filter when she gets angry. She says hurtful things. It disturbs me a lot. She basically doesn't like me for no reason. She thinks I'm not good enough for her son. Reason? I'm fat. My husband stands up for me. Then she blackmails him saying he's a bad son and selfish. We live far. So she guilts him saying that he's not around to take care of his aging parents. She is fully supported by her other son. She's now on non-talking terms with all her siblings because she said things to them also. Her siblings now don't talk to us either just because of our association with this woman. There is one person though who will support her no matter what, her other son. He's enabler. I can't hide this from my kids any longer. I feel not having grandparents in their life over petty reasons is not good for them. We live in an educated, cultured community where people don't say things like that. My mother-in-law has said things which are downright degrading. She's called my parents at midnight to complain about me. My parents were shocked. They're peace-loving people. They pity me. But I don't want that pity. I'm Indian and family values mean a lot. Cutting relationships is considered extreme. Not having any relations with my in-laws and extended family reflects on me negatively as well. Today again she said something. It was aimed at my husband. Called him a bad son out of nowhere. This might be the last time I had given her the chance. I hate her. I know my husband is never going to be the same. He loved his mom. Remove yourself from her life. Let your husband deal with her. No contact is a gift to your family. MIL is abusive. She shouldn't have access to your children or you. Your husband should also cut her if he's ready. 100% this. It isn't petty issues. You're shielding your children from the abuse she hurls at you and your husband. They should never have to grow up thinking this is how family treats one another. Your husband is heartbroken. Save your children from that same heartbreak. My MIL is the similar. Not just no filter, she actively tries to insult and hurt people when she is angry. Truth doesn't factor in. She disowned her son for having the audacity to agree with my wife and I when we were arguing with her. If she is like my MIL, then there is no changing her, no reasoning with her, and nothing to be gained by having her on your life. Protect your family, close that door. So I assume you are not in touch with her anymore? Your MIL seems similar to mine. The actively hurt part. She's commented on my body a lot. That's the one thing she can attack when she's mad at me. PM4H.U. Do you really want her in your kids' lives if she doesn't respect both of you as parents? What kind of example will she set complaining about their parents? If the kids are old enough, explain what time out is, adult style, apologies are needed, changed behavior is required. Your MIL is verbally abusive. It's not that she has no filter, it's that she abuses people. She's gonna die all alone with her enabler son. She's lower than spit on the bottom of your shoe, so I wouldn't even worry about her. Quit letting her live rent-free in your thoughts and raise your babies to be kind people who don't need that negative influence in their lives. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.